Socio-cultural study of Okka system in Kodagu. Let us go directly to the point, to the topic, socio-cultural study of Okka system in Kodagu. I would like to ask the audience, am I able to, are you able to hear me?
Yes, you're audible, ma'am.
Thank you. So,
Yes, madam.
here, the purview of my topic would be the Okka. Before delving into the explanations of Okka, the lecture of the Okka, I would like to give you the bird's eye view of the topic of Okka and what the feature it includes in it. The first would be, what is Okka? I mean, to say that, the simplification of Okka characteristics, the term called Okka, and the subject community associated with Okka. The next would be the Kurgs, non-Kurgs, and the Okka. Because the Okka, when we say Okka, there are many communities associated with Okka. Then you have Ainmanis, that is a main social center where these Okkas become a part of the society, the ancestral house. Then the other point is the functioning of Okka, how the Okka functions, the religion systems associated with Okka, the Okka and its Jamma lands, and the recent trends. These are all the main points that I want to cover when we speak about Okka. Mind you, to tell you that when I said Kodagu, I did not give you any kind of a geographical explanation of Kodagu or where the Kodagu as a small district situated, because in fact everybody knows where is Kodagu and Mangalore and Kodagu, since we are the neighboring district. I think everybody knows the pristine beauty, the serenity, the greenery of Kodagu. So I don't think so. We need to give an introduction about Kodagu. Let us talk about the system, the socio-cultural aspects of Kodagu. The subject community under my study, would be Kodavas. Because the topic is Okka. So we have many Okka communities in Kodagu, like the Amma Kodavas, the Arebasha Gaudas, the Pegades, the Iris, the Gollas, the Bannas. There are other many communities, the Koyavas, the Panikas, like that. But here, my area of study would be one particular subject community, Kodava, because that would be very much easy to access the sources. I could find out there's a lot of fund of information on this particular society. In fact, everybody, the other Okka communities who are residing in Kodagu, because Kodagu is a melting point of many tribal communities, like the Panikas, the Medas, the Martas. It is a kind of a tribal hub, a hilly tribal hub. All are considered as son of a soil because everybody share a common culture, religion, and practice. There is not much differentiation between the Kodavas and the non-Kodavas. Kodava is a language. It is a common language where all other Kodava, other Okka communities speak the same language. We call them it as Kodava Bhashikuru. But then the culture, the traditions, the marriage customs, the funeral practices, everything is one and the same. The dominant historiography took Kodava as a subject for their writings because it was more in number than, because of the service they have offered to the ruling bodies, the wealth they had, the martial traits what they have acquired, the weapons they have possessed. That is why 17th, 18th, 19th century, in fact 20th century, we have a fund of dominant historiographies, particularly giving its importance on Kodavas. When I say dominant historiography, the historiography of Coorg is divided into two parts. Because because the Coorg as a region, it was a colonial center since 1834. Commissioners came there. Commissioner rule started to begin since 1834. Then n number of British people they came to Kodagu. Then there was a production of lot of historiographical writings. Thus, the history of Kodagu, the historiography of Kur is divided into two types. One is European writings, another one is native writings. We have bifurcated, we have classified, because according to my readings, I have classified into two types, that is the European writings as well as the native writings. European writings, again, we can divide it into missionary writings and elitist writings. Similarly, the native writings can be divided into nationalist and subaltern writings. European writings, I said, the British people, they come to Kur, they observe, they have noticed the unique culture, the unique social systems, the unique clan systems, the unique economic aspects connected to the land, connected to the religion, the way of life of the people, the status of women. Thus, there are a lot of British people who are very much inquisitive to know the people of Kur. The native writers, the Indians, the son of the soils who have produced a number of writings on one's own community. European writings, again, I said that it's been divided into two types, missionary and elitist. Missionary writings, they come with an evangelical spirit to Kur, to spread the notion of Jesus Christ and so on and so on. But then these missionary people, these missionary personnel, when they came to Kur, they observed the practices, the cultures, the tribal communities living in Kur, thereby writing their observations. For example, to say Herman Mogling, he has written Memoirs, Richter, Ethnographical Compendium. Then you have Wheatbridge and Mogling, who has written Das Kurgland. These are all the missionary writings. Whereas elitist writings would be the administrative officers who had the passion to know about the culture and tradition of food. That is why they have written uh, writings, observations on food. For example, to say Robert Cole, he has written about Coorg civil law, or B.L. Rice, what he has written about Mysore and Coorg. Like this, there are many European writings. For example, another Hilton Brown, he has also written astonishing Land of Poor. Then, like this, there are many kind of European writing, I mean, elitist writings have been produced. Similarly, the native writings, the nationalist writings, for example, to say I. Muttanna or Pandanda Muttanna, they have also written I. Muttanna as the tiny model state in South India. Bidi Ganapati's, the Kodavas. These are all the nationalist writings. Subaltern, it is a recent trend post 1950, where the subaltern writings on the Kurd have been surfaced. For example, to say there is a very very modern kind of writings where the not much hyped community have been subject of study, and they have been given the importance. For example, T.P. Vijaya, for example, to say that Dr. Lokesh K.M., their writings would be the subaltern studies writings. But when we study about the historiography, when I was studying about the historiography of Kur history in order to understand the Okka, I could I could get a fund of information, a realistic picture from the writings of missionaries and also from the writings of subaltern writers, because they showcase the reality of the Kurg. Whereas other two section of writings like the elitist and nationalist, they hype the particular community, they hype the community so that they have the ethnocentric, so that it would give a ethnocentric message, a superiority complex, it would give a false prestige, it would give a false prestige on the writings. As I mentioned earlier, I said the subject study of Okka study would be Kodava. Subject community study would be Kodavas. The word Kodava, you must be knowing Kodava, a community, a community existing in Kurg. But then there is a lot of enigma mysteries regarding its origin, the term called Kodava. It is a word For the first time, it got mentioned in 1174 AD in Hunsuru inscription. 1174 AD in Hunsuru inscription. We find this inscription of Changalva dynasty. There was a battle between the Hoysalas and the Changalvas, and a Changalva ruler living somewhere in the southern part of Kodagu, southern part of Kurg, named Pemma Virasa writes this inscription where he mentions Kodava. We very much supported the war. Has been the Kodava community has assisted him for the war. So that the first appears here. Then next, when we come to the 14th century, we find a writer, we find a lexicographer called Mangaraja. Mangaraja, in his Kannada lexicon written in 1398, refers Kodavas as Mlechas who belong to the hunting community. We have many origin theories of Kodavas. Some they say they have come from Indus, they have come from Mesopotamia. The other section of elitist people they say that they belong to the Scytho-Aryan race, Scytho-Dravidian race. It is just a hyped kind of notions and opinions. But to be uh, at the grassroots level, when we do the research, when we do a lot of readings, and when we observe the observations made by the anthropologists and the sociologists, it is said that these people are the original inhabitants of the region of Kodagu. They are the ill inhabitant people of Kodagu who belong to a hunting community. And this was mentioned in Mangaraja's lexicon, where Kodava was mentioned as Mlechas. That means to say that they are the hunting community. It is said that these Kodavas they existed in this hilly region called Kodagu since 5th to 6th century AD. Till 5th to 6th century AD. But then they existed. They had the character of a tribal character. They possessed the tribal character till the advent of Haleri. Somewhere, a Haleri king named Lingaraja mentions that when he asked the history of Kodagu, history of Kodava, history of a Kodagaru, it says that it is ignorant. They are ignorant of their history. Mind you to say that in fact till the beginning of until the beginning of medieval India, in fact every Indians did not have the idea of historiography. It was only after the Arabs they came, they taught us historiography. I just imagine this tiny area untouched by outsiders for for thousands of years. Do we expect them to know the history of their own region, their own religion, their own language? Yes, they were completely ignorant of the tribal history. For many centuries, they were untouched by the outside world. Then who are these Kodavas? Who are these Kodava? They are land-owning agriculturists. They began as a hunting community, evolved to a land-owning agriculturist. They were the hunting community people, evolved to a land-owning agriculturist. They existed since 5th to 6th century AD, as mentioned in Gazetteer of Kurg district. A person named Tulsi Devi, she was a director of Kodagu Regional Research Center then. She herself uh, opined that Kurg, the Kodavas, the Kurgs were the born hunters. They are the born hunters because the word Kodava itself has originated from a word called Kodake. Kodai means hunter. Kodake means hunter region. So Kodagu comes from the word called Kodake, which means the hunting region, because it was a playground for hunting communities, because it was a land of slopes, land of forest, and it had a plenty of flora and fauna, which was a gaming sanctuary then. So a lot of hunters started to breed there. That is why uh, it was called as an hunting region. Thus, the word Kodagu came from Kodaki, and Kodava came from Kodai, means the hunting community. It existed. It continued to be. It existed for several centuries. Then there was a transformation of tribe to caste. The transformation began when slowly the world of Kodagu, the world of this pristine beauty, this pristine hilly area was exposed to the outside world when the Cholas started coming in during the 11th century AD. Then, the Hoysala started making its inroads. Slowly, the entire region was exposed to the caste transformation. Thus, their occupation got changed into hunting community, into land agriculture list. They were growing paddy. It is like, sedentary lifestyle. They used to have a sedentary lifestyle. There was not much of a surplus production. They used to produce for one's own self, for one's own well-being. It was not a market-oriented economy then. This is the history. It was a situation. This was a situation during the time of, before this caste transformation began. This was a particular situation, what I have said till now. Now, my topic is, what is Okka? The slide you can see, what is Okka? After brief perusal of several reading materials, I found out that it is better to understand this concept through anthropological way and through the sociological perspective. A general opinion, a layman would understand that Okka means, you say that it is an Avibhakta Kutumba, the joint family system. But in this perspective, at this point of time, I would claim that Okka is a clan which started to live, Okka is a clan which started to live like a joint family. Brihaspati, the Hindu, Dharma Shastra writer, he says that, a joint family, he gives the features of joint family, like, members stay together, share common kitchen and all. All the members start living together. The home belongs to the ancestors, the pitras, in the interest of offspring and the future members of the family. This is what our Brihaspati opines about joint family system. Another noted renowned sociologist and anthropologist, Airavati Karve, she says that joint family is a group of people who generally live under one roof, who eat food cooked by one hearth, who holds worship and are related to one another. Family members are related to one another, and it may take for, and the family members may cross for 2 to 3 to 4 generations in the same house. This is what the definitions of joint family system. Because there are many anthropologists, sociologists, like even Kapadia also has done lot of work on joint family systems in India. The members, the constituent members are related to each other. They are kin and their kids and kins living under the same roof, beginning from first generation to the third generation or the fourth generation, sharing the common kitchen, sharing the same food, sharing the same property. But mind you, there is no individual inheritance of the property. The property is for the joint family. The property is for the family and not for the individual. But here, I would like to make a slight difference between the clan and the joint family. Before understanding the nature of Okka, I would like to say what is a clan, how the clan emerged. See, this clan emerged from a relationship called kinship. Kinship. It starts from kinship. Kinship, it might be a filial relationship or a final relationship. Filial relationship means parent and a child. The final relationship means husband and wife. It's like a nuclear family for a procreation. Final relationship. Parent and the child. There is another. This is a starting point where the starting point of a clan. Then it comes to a descent, where this kinship will have one generation or two generation, and this generation will know what is their descent. That is, they will know who is their tata or who is their grandfather, who is their great grandfather. That is called a descent. When this continues for another 2 to 3 generations, there will be a point where the children, the members of the family will know the descent, but descent will not know the members of the family, because the descent will not be existed. He will be not in the picture. So that is called a lineage. Lineage. In Coorg, irrespective of community, the Pegdias, the Iris, the Amakurgis, or the Arebasha Gauda, everybody has this lineage. We call it as Bhaga. There, in the study, it has emerged that lineage is called as Bhaga, because they knew the descent. They knew from whom these kind of a constituent members have come into existence. They knew their great grandfathers or great 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 grandfathers, but then that great great grandfather has not existed for that point of time. That is called a lineage. When a lineage starts to multiply in a large number, that means to say the members become large in number, a point will come where the descent will be unknown. It becomes an enigmatic personality. The many constituent members will not know who their descent is. Then it becomes a clan. It becomes a clan. So in Kodava society, the Okka is called as clan. The term Okka has been Sanskritized since 200, 300 years because of the landed gentry system associated with this particular terminology. The Okka as a terminology has been Sanskritized. So till then, this is called as a clan. A Kodava society has many clans. For example, to say, we have, I have mentioned Balachanda, we have Kollira, we have Mukatira, we have other many other clans existed in Kodava society. There are about more than 150 clans existing. Some have been extinguished, some have been completely, some are some are endangered, some has been extinct. Some of the clans have been extinct. These are all called clans. I've given a small example where, the name called Kutaya, then the Madaya, and the Balachanda. Because these are all the lineage system. The Madaya, the other circles are the lineage. They know the descents. So these are called as the lineage, the Bhagavan. But when we take this Balachanda as a whole, the members of the community, they will not know this Kutaya. But then yet, they all belong to the same clan. When the members of the community are ignorant of their descent, and that particular stage is called clan, it becomes an Okka. But of course, Okka became Sanskritized during the time of Raja's advent to Coorg. See, in Kodagu, how did the Okka emerge? How did the Okka emerge? Is it a new kind of system that came into existence? What is it actually? Was there any other system existed? How an hunting and food gathering community can transform itself into an Okka? These are all the certain questions obviously gets popped in one's own mind. In this hunter community, as the members increased due to the filial and affinal relationships, lineages transformed into class, which later gets Sanskritized to Okka. Of course, there was a clan system before the advent of Rajas to Coorg. Somewhere in 17th century, 1600 AD, the Lingayats came to Coorg. Because Kodava as a society, they were very much fascinated to imitate the superiority culture of upper class people. But when the Lingayats came, The clan people who was in the process of transforming into a class, into a clan, into a caste, they were very much fascinated by the lifestyles, who got influenced by the Keladi system of social life. They wanted to be like the joint family system or the extended family system, living in a one particular place under one particular roof. That is where the clan becomes a Okka, and then there comes Ain Manes or the Balle Manes. Ain Mane means the ancestral house. It is a huge house where all the clan members live together. When these clan members multiply in number, in number, they start to, they start, because this house cannot accommodate so much of members, they start to live outside these Aymanes, like the Alepares, or they start to construct a small houses in and around this ancestral property. Till then, this Okka as a concept came during the time of Rajas, because this entire community was in the process of transforming from the tribe to caste. Some studies refer Okka to a joint family system. When this tribe was in the process of forming a caste and started to living in a Ainmane, it became a joint family. Joint family, it is a way of life. It is a way of life for these people who transformed from a hunting community to a landed agriculturist, then to the landed agriculturist who also took the tag of warrior class. They started to live together as a joint family or the extended family, because many siblings will be there, brothers will be there, 10 to 15 brothers live together, brothers children live together. That is what the extended family is all about. But the class assumed the status of extended family when the members began living together in ancestral house called Ainmanis. These Ainmanis share common kitchen, common property, but there is no right to the inheritance of the property. The property belongs to the house and not to the constituent members of the Ainmane. It is the property, the lands belong to the Ainmane and not to the individual property. Okka as subject became an idolized institution in Kodagu since 18th century. Since 18th century, because the Rajas came, the Haleris came, they saw the functioning of this unique clan system in this part of the world. They idealized this institution. They idealize. It is not that in some text they say that the Rajas they gave the land to cultivate and all. But then before the Rajas itself, these clan members owned the land, because there was land was plenty in number. There was a plenty in number, and they were the dominant numbers they were more in number. That is why, in order for the survival, in order to have a survival for his clan members, these clan as a community, as a corporate enterprise, they started to occupy lot of property, lot of land in and around their state. But when Rajas came, they found this unique system and they idolized this unique system, and they gave it a term called as Jamma. Okka is a main social and cultural unit in society. How it is a social and cultural unit in a society? When we study Okka, when we read Okka, when we think about Okka, there are many social attributes. There are many attributes revolving around Okka. For example, to say you have a religious attributes in Okka, because religion is a part of a culture. You have a women, the status of women in Okka. Okka functioning as a corporate enterprise, or Okka functioning as a, having a corporate character. And the exogamy policies, exogamy principles, the name, these are all the social and cultural units associated with Okka. Okka lived like a joint family, to say that, comprising 35 to 40 grown-up males under one single roof called Ainmane. But then, when the numbers increased, there were numbers of 100 to 120. People started to live outside the Okka. Some have misunderstood as the breakdown of Okka, but then it is not like that. The huge house could not accommodate the growing number of members in the Okka. That is how, they started to build small houses called as Alepare or small houses in and around the property of these Balyamane or Ainmane. There are many Ainmanes in Coorg. For example, to say that Ajikutira, a clan named Ajikutira owns a Ainmane. A clan named Kodira owns a Ainmane. A clan named, Chepudira owns a Ainmane. But not all clans own a Ainmane. Of course, recent trends, there is a there is a fashion that every clan started to have built a new kind of a Ainmane, which is, I think, which goes against the norms and principles of the very concept of Okka. There are not all clans will have Ainmanes. Not all Ainmanes had to accommodate the clans. But there are few clans which own a Ainmane, and these Ainmanes would be of 200 to 450 years in Coorg, functioning in a full stage. Today it has become a museum piece because none of them are living there. Because of this modernization, all the members of the clan, they have they have segmented themselves. They had this fragmentation. They came out of Ainmanes. They started to live outside. With the modern education, the younger generation started to spare here and there. So, Ainmanes has become a subject of museum study today, and once in a while, all the clan members gather there and offer some kind of a celebration in order to commemorate their great ancestors. The Okka, who enjoys the property. Inheritance is not from the father to son. The property owned by a Okka cannot be inherited by father to son, but from a generation to generation. That is mean there is no right of inheritance for an individual person, for an individual member in the society. The head of the Okka is called as Korokara. Is called as Korokara. The wife is called as Korokarti. In a clan, the eldest of all the members is called as Korokara. Eldest in the sense, in terms of age, in terms of experience, he is supposed to be the eldest. He is supposed to be the head of the clan. You call it as clansman, head of the clansmen. All the economic aspects, financial power, all kind of functioning of this Hokka depends on this Korokara. His wife named as Korokarti, the eldest woman, she maintains the interior economy of this Ainmane, interior economy of this clan. For example, the maintenance of Ainmane or, or the food to be prepared at the day-to-day level in a such way. The members, the constituent members of this clan, for example, to say Balachanda or any other clan, the members are called as Kikkars. Kikkars. The members are called as Kikkars. The head of the family, head of the clan, had a full control over the property of the family and was expected to administer it for the benefit of everybody, not at the individual profit level, but it should be benefited for all the members of the clan. No member in the clan should ask for the share in the property. No member could disturb the unity of Okka by demanding his share or forcing his partition. You do not have the right for partition there. When a Okka owns a land, none of the members can ask for a partition because the inheritance is not at the individual level. It is at the generation level, and there is no concept of partition. Because all these have, continue as all these were the tribal characteristics continued from past many years, from past 500, 600 years up to the time of the Raja's king. The Rajas also fostered the Okka system. They fostered the Okka system. They encouraged the Okka system. They encouraged the joint family system. Of course, the joint family system, the Ainmanes and sharing common kitchen, the structure of the Hind money. It is all the Sanskritized form of process, Sanskritization process, because Kodava community was very much fascinated to imitate the superior culture of Lingaites and Brahmanas on one hand, and they were very much fascinated to imitate the way of life of Britishers on other hand. They wanted the culture of Brahmins and Lingaites. They wanted to imitate the lifestyle of Britishers. That is how M.N. Srinivasa, in his Religion and Society in Coorg, he has mentioned, he has done a lot of observation on Coorg society and culture. I would like to talk about something about Ainmane. Ainmane, it is an ancestral house. Each Ainmane belongs to a particular Okka built on a high platform. Categorization of living area was made. There was a separate categorization made for male and for the female members. They all share a common kitchen. Some of the Ainmanes in Coorg, dates about from 150 to 450 years and have evolved over a period of time. Attributes of Okka is they have attributes of name, exogamy, women, religion, corporate character and enterprise, feuding, and Jama lands. When I say the name, Okka and the name, every Okka has a name. For example, to say Ballachanda, Cholanda, Ajikutira, Cheppudira, Kukkera, and so on. The name of Okka is quite enigmatic. It is totemic in character because this Balachanda doesn't have a meaning, Cholanda doesn't have a meaning, Ajikutira doesn't have a meaning. But these names are totemic character. How a clan is having this name is quite enigmatic and quite abstractive. These names are associated with some kind of animal, thing, event, natural phenomena, incidents, etc. None of them knew how come the clan name has emerged. Exogamy. Exogamy, all the Okka members are brothers and sisters. All the Okka members, all the clansmen are brothers and sisters. They cannot marry each other. One has to marry outside the clan. Husband and wife belong to different clan. Marriage, you have three types of marriage. For example, Kanimangala, Kudavali, Okka Parajay, Makka Parajay. Kanimangala, that is the commonly practiced male and female marriage. It's a common practice. Kudavali means living together when the spouse is deceased. Okka Parajay means it's a kind of a matrilineal marriage when you have no sons and you stand for the Okka. The women stands for the Okka. Makka Parajay means it's a matriarchal marriage, but then husband stays in his clan. But the children carry the tradition, the property rights of mother. Mangal Sutra is completely absent in Okka society, in Coorg Okka society. Today, it is a Sanskritized form of culture. The practice of mother tying pattak to daughter at the time of marriage shows remnants of matriarchal society. There is a ornament called as pattak, where the mother ties it to her daughter at the time of her marriage. It shows the remnants of matriarchal society. It is said that till the advent of Rajas, that too, till the advent of Doddavira Raja, the Halleri king, Kodava practiced matriarchal society. They transformed into a patriarchal society out of Sanskritization. This was absurd. And mentioned in the Gazetted. They were actually the matriarchal people, but transformed into patriarchal, which is an example of Sanskritization. Okka and the women. Until the coming of, Doddavira Raja, Kodavas were the matriarchal society. Sanskritization transformed Okka to patrilineal and patriarchal society. That means to say the male members is having the all powers. The male members is having the powers. Only the male has the right to inheritance. The male could be the permanent members of the Okka and not the women. The female members are temporary members of Okka, because once after she get married, she will be the permanent. She acquires a permanent membership in her husband's clan. Remnants of mother tying the thali to the daughter at the time of marriage shows once upon a time Kodava society was a matriarchal. Studies indicate practice of polyandry because there are there are few evangelical writers who speaks about polyandry practice among Kurds women, polyandric practice of Kurd women, because it is said that in Ain Mane or in Okka, the children and wife is the property of the Okka and not the individual. Children and wife is the property of a Okka and not the individual. So indirectly, it corresponds to say that it followed a polyandric practices. It is mentioned by, it has been absorbed by Richter, it has been absorbed by Mogling, and Doddavira Raja also mentions it. He despised this practice. He despised this practice. And in order to break down, in order to stop this practice, there was a breakdown of Jamatinures. He encouraged the individual to come out of the Hokka, have an individual property, have a separate freedom, have a separate family freedom, because women practiced polyandry. English and the Rajas despised this practice. The Halaris despised this practice. But then, whatever it is, women practiced agriculture. She also had a Narimangala ceremony. Some of the women witnessed Narimangala. That is, when somewhere when you happen to kill a tiger. I don't know it is a hyped thing or not, because killing a tiger is not a small issue. But then they say that women could be also have this kind of marriage ceremony whenever she kills a tiger in honor of her bravery. Religion, ancestral worship. Kodavas, they have a ancestral worship. It is called Karana. The ancestral god is called as Karana, and the ancestral spirits, the great 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 father, the descent who lived in Ain Manes, who lived in a ancestral house, they all stayed in one particular place called as Kaimada, where all the ancestral spirit stay. So once in a while they offer meat and liquor, meat and liquor. They pray the ancestral spirit, offering meat, that to roasted meat. It shows the hunting, vestiges of hunting practice, hunting community people. You had male and female spirits, female ancestral spirits. Holy lamp. The Kodavas believed in holy lamp, and in Ainmane there is a cave called as Nellaki Nadubade, where every day holy lamp has to be lit. They also practiced demon worship. It is called as Tere. It is also called as Bhutakola. It has been influenced by Dakshina Kannada also. For example, to say you have Buliga, Puliya, Naripuda, Chaundi, demon worships like Chaundi, Kuttichata, Kallurti, spirit worship, Ajappa. They all have, this kind of practice. They all worship the demons. Brahmins did not have any role to play. Totemism. Okka carried the concept of totemism. A non-human ancestor of a clan, for example, to say plant, animal, act, event, and natural phenomena is called as totem ancestor. Members or the descendants, they pray this totem ancestor. The clan is named after a totem ancestor, which could be abstract and enigmatic. For example, Kukkera, there is a clan called as Kukkera. But Kukke means basket. Kollira. Kollira, there is a clan called as Kollira. Kolli means stream. Baddira. Baddi means what? Interest. But then they have great regards to these particular things like the basket, the stream, the interest. Each clan respect the totem ancestor and perform rituals periodically. So a kind of enigmatic, and there is no meaning for the names of the clan, and and they pray the totem ancestor, which is we do not have the meaning for the totemic ancestor. Then, when the Rajas came, there was a Sanskritization of religious practices. Okka has a community, started to believe in astrology. There was celebration of Hindu festivities. According to M.N. Srinivas, in his Religion and State of Coorg, the process of Sanskritization made Coorgs to imitate superior culture of Lingaites and Brahmins on one hand and British way of life on the other hand. It also has Okka has a corporate character and enterprises. All the Okka members owns the property, the Jamma property, and controls the inheritance of the property. The members of the clan, the members of the Okka, show solidarity by coming together in certain ceremonial occasions like marriage, ancestral worship, or the funeral. You have a Aruha system also, that is inter-clan friendly ties. That is like, for example, to say Balachanda clan and a Cholanda clan, they have a friendly relationship and they show their solidarity at times of celebrations or at time of any kind of endangered situation. Another important attribute of Okka is the Jamma land tenure. Jammas in Kodagu is a social heritage. Jamma was a hereditary land tenure, and each owner of land was given a title declaring grantees right over Jamma land by rulers. Mind you to say that these hunting community turned land agriculturists had were the land owning people before the Rajas. The Rajas recognized the lands which these clan people were already holding it and were given the term called as Jamma. They were considered as the grantees. They put up set of rules and regulations. For example, to say Jammas were restrained from selling, mortgaging, and alienating. For example, after the Rajas or after the Britishers, there are instances where some of the Okkas received lands and were converted into Jammas. For example, for the service offered by Coorgs during the time of 1837 insurrection, Amarasulya insurrections, or the 1857 revolt. So many of the Coorgs received the Jammas. But finally, the granting of Jammas was formally stopped in 1898. But then the Rajas and also the Britishers, they also encouraged the fragmentation of Jammas. But Jamma is not a new concept what the Rajas were introduced. After my brief perusal of studies, maybe it was a concept existed before the Rajas coming, but the Rajas only recognized it and gave a legal recognition for the system and the practice. Other land tenures would be Umbali, Gaudumbali, Naimanu, which were inalienable. You cannot transfer it or mortgage it or sell it. By the touch of magic laws, as mentioned by P. Muttana, Britishers and Britishers, especially Britishers, started to divide Jamma lands, giving a reason of maintenance of the individual members. But the title deed was to be retained by the eldest of the Okka. So hence, a Korokara became a Pattedara because he had the Patta. Thus, he was called as Pattedara. Erstwhile, he was called as Korokara. Then he is called as Pattedara because the Jamma property's title was retained by the Pattedara, that is the eldest, but the property were fragmented among the constituent members of the Okka for their individual maintenance. Slavery was also attached to the Okka. It was also called as Jammada Halu, Hitti Bitti Chakri, what we call it as. Of course, we show a lot. It was a kind of slavery practices. What it was followed then, there was a lot of subdivision of clan. Now, a question arises: who granted the Jamma? Is it Rajas or clan acquired property? But whatever it is, the word Okka is related to the landed gentry because Okkaligas or Okka. It was a Sanskritized form. It was a word came from outside to Coorg, and it was not a new inception that took its birth in Coorg. The recent trends about the clan or the Okka is when you go for any explanation, sociological explanation of this Okka, whose origin ranges from, when we ask people about the Okka, they say that we are from Greek, we are from Portuguese, we are from Iran, we are from Kurdistan, or we are from the Middle East, somewhere there, depending on who you ask, as they say, different story to tell. It is better to come out of that false prestige. Kodava, a warrior tribe, came up the social ladder through a process called as Sanskritization, a term first used by noted sociologist M.N. Srinivas in his book Religion and Society Among the Cooks of India. Today, Kodava as a language is one of the endangered language in the world. It has to be restored and it has to be carried out for next further generation. Thus, thank you.
Thank you, madam. It was
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful presentation. So now the paper is open to all for the questions. If you have any questions, please ask. The resource person is ready to answer.
Madam,
Sir,
very good paper presented.
Thank you, sir.
I have one question. That is, you said that patriarchal society
Yes, sir.
transferred into matriarchal society transformed into patriarchal society when Veeraraja Vadaya ascended the throne. After Veeraraja Vadaya ascended the throne, isn't it?
No, sir. Actually, till the advent of Dodda Raja, the community was practicing matriarchal society. Matrilineal practices were followed.
Okay.
After the coming of Haleris, the Dodda Raja, he despised this practice, polyandric practice. Lingaraja said the Haleris were till the advent of Haleris. These Kodava people, they were following matriarchal principles. Then, in the process of Sanskritization, they started imitating the Lingayat people. Thus, matrilineal society transformed into patrilineal societies.
Okay. One more question. That is, you said about the totemic system in Kodava community.
Yes, sir.
So, is there any Bali system among the Kodavas?
Pardon me?
Any Bali system?
Bali system, sir. Of course.
Bali system. So
You mean to say?
No,
You mean?
in many tribal community in India, so they try to identify with some trees or plants or animals like, we call it as a Bali. So is there any, we call them as a totemic culture. So you told that that is the Kurtis or Kodavas also belong to the totemic culture. So my question is, are there any kind of belief system among the Kodavas?
The belief, I mean, you said belief or belief, no, sir?
No, it is not a belief. So for example, they try to identify themselves with plant origin or tree origin or animal origin like that.
But sir, as I said you, this entire totem is kind of enigmatic and abstract thing. For example, there are many clans in Kodava society. In each clan you have certain kind of practices. In some they perform this demon worship, whereas in some clan they do not perform this demon worship, thinking that it is against their totemic practices. For example, to say somewhere in a village, they use this aracanite strings in order to lit the lamp. So aracanite stick is something is like a totemic practices.
Okay.
Madam, there is 2 questions in the chat box. One of our senior student, Vitish Kumar, is asked in Kannada.
Okay, sir.
ಇಂದಿಗೂ ಒಕ್ಕ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಐನ್ ಮನೆಗಳು ಕೊಡಗಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇವೆಯೇ? ತುಳುನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಗುತ್ತು ಮನೆಗಳು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಅದರ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇಂದು ಉಳಿದುಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೊಡಗಿಗೆ ಹೋಲಿಸಿದರೆ ಐನ್ ಮನೆಗಳು ಒಕ್ಕ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತತೆ ಹೇಗೆ?
Okay, sir, that's a good question, sir. Actually, ಇವತ್ತು ಒಕ್ಕ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಐನ್ ಮನೆ ಜೊತೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐನ್ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಈಗ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕೊಡಗಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಐನ್ ಮನೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಹೆರಿಟೇಜ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾರ್ಪಾಡಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಒಕ್ಕ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾನ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಈಗಲೂ ಸಹ ಅದು ಹಾಗೆ ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಬಾರಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಪಿತ್ರ ಆನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ರಲ್ ವರ್ಷಿಪ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಆ ಐನ್ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿ ತಮ್ಮ ತಮ್ಮ ಆನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ ದೇವರುಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಷಿಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. It is somewhere similar to the Guptamani of South Canara also, but then today ಈ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಈಗಿನ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಐನ್ ಮನೆಯ ಮೂಲ ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನೇ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಏನು ಹೊಸ ಹೊಸ ಪೇಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕೋದು, ಆಲ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದೆ. The younger generation are more they wanted ಒಂಥರ ಫ್ಯಾಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಅದರ ಮೂಲ ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸೌತ್ ಕೆನರಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ನನಗೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
Okay, one more question from Meera Ramesh. She's asking the question, do you recognize that the Kodagu culture is an extension of Tulava culture with regards to its socio-religious fabric?
Extension of, I cannot say it as an extension of Tuluva culture, because Kodagu and Tuluva culture goes at the parallel level. Each has influenced each other. Knowing the geographical factors, for example, to say the demon worship, it has been culturally diffused from the Tulu people. For example, these kind of Guttumane or the Ainmane, it is a psychic unity of mankind that who has lived in this part of the region. It is not that we Kodagu people or the Tulu people have come to Coorg, or Tulu people have gone to Coorg and taken the concept. It is the psychic unity of mankind, and also I think a kind of a Sanskritization process has also evolved, sir. These are all the factors.
Okay, madam. I think there is no more questions. Just an observation, because I have been there in the Madikeri for a few years.
Okay, sir.
So I have seen, or my observation is, the globalization is affecting to this Ainmane concept, because as you say, that the heritage is more commercializing. One, the other one is because of the education, the people are migrating either Mysore or to Bangalore. So only in a year once they return. So the concept of Ainmane sanctity is not anymore because of the tourist concept. The Ainmane is becoming like a commercial concept. So how far did you enlighten this?
See, sir, we have a trend now. There is a chain called as Ainmane drinks. There is a trend called Ainmane cafe. It is all market-oriented strategies where to, I think, to attract the people. And Coorg itself is a tourist destination. Today it has become a tourist destination. And if you go to Bangalore and all, you can find Ainmane cafe and all. But then at one point, in a way, I think it is changing its process, but in a way I think it is also sustaining the next coming generation. That Ainmane, there was a institution called as Ainmane. The younger generation will know through this Ainmane cafe or through this Ainmane chain of drinks that is available. The younger generation will know that yes, we come from a place, we do have ancestor house in Coorg. It has its pros and cons.
I agree with you, ma'am. And once again, Mr. Vitesh Kumar is asking a small doubt. This is again in Kannada. ಒಕ್ಕಲಿಗ ಜಾತಿ ಒಕ್ಕ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಹೊಂದಾಣಿಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳಿವೆಯೇ ಅಥವಾ ಭಿನ್ನತೆ ಇದೆಯೇ?
ಹೊಂದಾಣಿಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಸರ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾನು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಒಕ್ಕ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಜಾತಿ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಸಾಂಸ್ಕ್ರಿಟೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಬಹುಶಃ ಇದು ಲಿಂಗಾಯತರು ಕೊಡಗಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಈ ಒಕ್ಕ ಮತ್ತು ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ತಗೋ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಒಕ್ಕಲಿಗರು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಈ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡೆಡ್ ಜೆಂಟ್ರಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಇತಿಹಾಸದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಕೊಡಗಿರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಕ್ಕ ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಪರಿಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆ ಈ ಒಕ್ಕಲಿಗ ಎನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ. ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆನ ನಾನು ಸಾಂಸ್ಕ್ರಿಟೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇನೆ. ಅನುಕರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇಮಿಟೇಟೆಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಸರ್. and nothing is for our own concept. Till the Rajas came to Coorg, we had, the Kodavas had, the community had its own identity. They were just a simple landowning community, but then it has changed into a landed gentry where a lot of economic inputs have been attached to this landed community. Sir.
Okay. Thank you. My congratulations to you for the beautiful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll go further. Now I request today's session's president, our principal, Dr. Anasuya Rai, give her remarks.
Yes. Hello everyone. Ms. Shrithi Parvathy, today's resource person. Dr. Kumaraswamy, the coordinator of History MA, University College, Mangalore. Dr. Ganapathy Gowda, the pioneer of this web series. My dear colleagues, MANUSHA office bearers and invitees. Till now, we witnessed the scholarly talk by Ms. Shrithi Parvathy on the topic, the socio-cultural study of Okka system in Kodagu. Ms. Shrithi, in her interaction, gave us the bird's eye view of Okka community, Coorg and non-Coorg side of Okka community, Ailmane, the ancestor house of Okka clan, the Okka functions, the religious system and related issues. The meaning of word Okka or joint family was beautifully explained by Shruti. We could picturize the functioning of Okka family. Thank you, Ms. Shruti. At this young age, you have shown interest in the study of your original place and shared your knowledge with all of us. Your presentation as well as your communication matched with the beauty of your land, and you have been a pioneer, and hope the youngsters will show more interest in the study of your land. Finally, I congratulate Dr. Ganapathy Gowda, Dr. Kumaraswamy and the whole team for successfully organizing 23 series of lecture since last 1 year. I will not be taking much of your time. Thank you everyone. I also thank Dr. Pushpa Kuttanna. I saw her joining. Thank you, madam. We are expecting that one day you will be interacting with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
ಸೊ ನಾವೀಗ ಈ ಒಂದು 23ನೇ ಸಂಚಿಕೆಯ ಅಂತ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಈ ಒಂದು 23ನೇ ಸಂಚಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯವನ್ನ ಕುರಿತು ಬಹಳ ಅರ್ಥಗರ್ಭಿತವಾಗಿ ವಿತ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್, ವಿತ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್, ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತಮ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನ ಮಂಡಿಸಿದಂತಹ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ವಿಭಾಗದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಮಾನುಷದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್.
ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಐ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸೇಸ್ ದಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಶಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಮೀ ಟು ಫೀಲ್ ಪ್ರೌಡ್. ಅವ್ರಿಗಿರುವ ಒತ್ತಡಗಳು, ಆ ಒಂದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲದರ ನಡುವೆ ಸಮಯ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕೂತು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ 23 ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ನಮಗೆ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಬೆಂಬಲದಿಂದಾಗಿ ನಾವು 23 ಸಂಚಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ಪ್ರಾಂಶುಪಾಲರು ವಿಭಾಗದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ, ನಾನು ಮಾನುಷದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಮತ್ತು 23 ಸಂಚಿಕೆಗಳು ಇಷ್ಟು ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗಿ ನಡೆದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ರೂವಾರಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗಣಪತಿ ಗೌಡ ಸರ್ ಸಲ್ಲತ್ತೆ. ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಈ ಒಂದು ಮಾನುಷದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ, ವಿಭಾಗದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಟ್ಟವರು ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಭಾಗದ ಮೀನಾಕ್ಷಿ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಅನಸೂಯ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಹಿರಿಯರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪುಷ್ಪಾ ಕುಟ್ಟಣ್ಣ ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಸಂಚಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದ್ರು. ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ವಿಭಾಗದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ, ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ವತಿಯಿಂದ, ಪ್ರಾಂಶುಪಾಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣಕರ್ತರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಾನುಷ ಹಾಗೂ ಗುರುಪ್ರಸಾದ್, ರಾಜು, ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಭಾಗದ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಸಿಬ್ಬಂದಿ ವರ್ಗ ಇವೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ